Are we going to talk about Ric Flair and Halle Berry, or?
We can if you would like. I can throw that right after Simmons.
I feel like we can just talk about it right now before the show actually officially starts. Did you think? Do you think he?
Of course I do.
He said, Of
course I do.
I mean,
it's Ric Flair.
I feel you. I'm not disagreeing.
She's not wrong if he did lie about it, because I mean that's kind of fucked up.
She did come out the next day and said
it's kind of messed up.
She claimed she didn't know who he was.
Yeah, that's why I think it's true.
First of all, Ric Flair, he's been a household name since the 70s. Well, late 70s, early 80s. So we're talking 30, 40 years now.
It's Ric Flair.
You never heard that name in your life. You never heard it in his
everybody
prime.
Knows who Ric. She says she knows who he was. Everybody knows who Ric Flair is. Everybody.
You never heard of Nature Boy. You never heard of limousine riding, jet flying.
I've never heard of the whole thing.
She heard of Space Mountain. According to Ric Flair.
True.
Dude. That was funny. I don't know if you saw. So I went on their Twitter. So yesterday, Rick did the whole thing. And he came out and he tweeted a thing about the t-shirt saying, oh, by the way, this is a good time to buy my t-shirt that says Space Mountain. I hear it's hot in Atlanta. She came out a couple hours somewhere between that a 12-hour time frame. She posted a picture of her back facing the camera. And it says something about something about not facing the past, turn your back on the past. Which people,
subliminal? You think subliminal?
Bro, if you go in the comments of that picture, people are
subliminal?
like, "Oh, you mean like turn your back against kicking with the Nature Boy?" Woo! Yeah. She'll respond, and then 24 hours later, she comes out with a statement saying, or her agent comes out and saying it's not true. Blah blah. You know what? Here's the thing. I don't care if it's true or not. Point being, one, it's Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Two, even if he in his mind thinks he did but he didn't. If it's some dementia thing or whatever, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, I know from millions of stories I've heard, at some point in his life, he has been with something that would make me go,
oh, yeah.
Oh.
You can only imagine. It's Ric Flair.
Dude, the stories are true.
Oh, sure.
And how detailed he kind of was with it.
Yeah.
He didn't go into specifics, but he knew. Do you know her ex's name or former husband's name?
No.
He named it like that.
No clue.
It was when she divorced. What's his name at this place? I'm not questioning it. And even if he's lying, even if he's making it up, even if he knows he's making it up or he doesn't know.
Dementia wouldn't be him knowing the guy's name though.
Bruh, seriously.
Or
It's Ric Flair. At some point in his lifetime, he was with something that would make me go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's a Nature Boy. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I thought it was funny.
It is funny. It's actually really funny. Whether it's true or not, it's really funny. The whole situation's funny.
I think it's funny. I mean, it's been what, 20 years? And in that time frame, it would have been at least 20 years.
Yeah.
The fact that it just came out, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, maybe
he was in his
back.
50s, right?
Yeah, 40s, 50s. The fact that it's just coming out now, he's like 60, I think he's 67.
So maybe in his 40s.
Yeah. He's got nothing to lose at this point. He don't care.
Yeah, what does it matter?
Woo! The GOAT. Still waiting for that ESPN doc, by the way.
Yeah, right?
Fuck, like I haven't heard that in months.
It's been a while since I heard anything about that as well.
Anyway.
Alright.
I'm gonna have to get that Ric Flair theme playing. Dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. You think he was playing that while he was? Woo! While she was riding on top of Space Mountain?
Long run. Have to wait.
This conversation can go on forever. Alright. He's the man. Woo! Too sweet!
Hi, welcome to JD Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's Dwight Garfield. Tough week. Last week, picking wise for myself, Dwight. We'll get into that a little later. A lot of fun storylines, though. The only
Little
one
bit.
that I'm really proud of that I got right, getting right into it, would be Buffalo at New England. I predicted a win. I said that Buffalo was going to win. That's about the only good thing I had this weekend. But,
At least you got that one.
I mean, that's a pretty big surprise. Rex Ryan going in there. I said last week he probably
Is it
saved the
though?
job beating
Is it
Arizona.
though?
A shock?
I don't think it is. I mean, I love New England. just
13-0.
because-
Not that they won. Just a shock that it was 13-0. They shut them out.
I mean, it's a third-string quarterback, and the third-string quarterback was injured. So I mean,
Yeah.
I picked New
Actually,
England. I picked New England just because at this point I was like, I refuse to go against them at this rate. But
Yeah.
now that they lost, you see it was a third-string quarterback, and he was injured with his thumb. Like
Hindsight.
it's not surprising.
Everything you just said. They only gave up 13 points,
Yeah.
and they went 3-1 without Tom Brady because he walked back in the building Monday morning. So,
Dude, how disgusting is that?
yeah,
Tom Brady
3-1.
is walking in.
3-1.
That's disgusting.
And the only way they lost was the third string quarterback was hurt.
That's disgusting, dude. It makes no sense. I think the Patriots have definitely put the NFL on notice.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that their defense, I don't think is any good whatsoever.
It's a Belichick coach defense, so you're going to have the tendencies.
They're kind of mediocre. They don't have a running game.
Yeah.
The
running
receivers
game's
are
so
what they
hit and
are,
miss, and
but
if it's not on, they, especially with the backup quarterbacks, we're having a problem. But you're
Yeah.
right.
I mean, the receivers are what they are, but the fact that they ended up being 3-1 without Tom Brady makes me...
But Tom Brady fixes everything, yes?
Yeah, that's why it makes me automatically assume that the Patriots are going to be right there in the end,
Like,
as they always are.
Whatever weaknesses they have, he kind of comes in, masks it, probably wins a bunch of games, maybe goes undefeated, knowing him, especially how motivated he is. Them getting shut out last week at home. I know this game against Cleveland, I feel bad for Cleveland just because you would expect this as a team that could put up 70 points this week just out of spite.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Tom Brady, it's kind of like the Tony Romo effect. He's going to make the defense look better than what it actually is.
Yeah.
And especially he's coming against the Browns, so it might as well just be a bye week or a practice week.
Well,
He's going to do what he wants against that team.
Good way for him to come back and warm up, for sure.
Horrible for the Browns, good for him, but...
Rex Ryan and Richie Incognito kind of poked fun at Belichick. Why would you poke the bear? Especially because you said it was against a third-string quarterback. Like, why would you poke the bear?
I don't know, man.
Could you imagine the next time they play? You don't think Belichick's going to be in there just kind of like ready
Rex
to
Ryan.
just shove it to him?
Dude, he's such a joke to me at this point. Like, I think he'd be, like I said before, I think he'd be a good coordinator, a good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But as a head coach, to me, he's just overrated. And I think at this point, he's such a joke. And now he comes out and says after the game, well, I had an insider on the Patriots side that told me who the starting quarterback was. Okay, there's two things wrong with that. One, everybody and their mom knew who the starting quarterback was going to be because it was either going to be, I don't know, the actual quarterback or a wide receiver.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was going to be Garoppolo or Brissett. They said Garoppolo could have played. They thought Garoppolo might have been able to play.
Okay. Oh, well, big deal. One, or, which it doesn't make a difference at that point. I mean,
I agree.
6 and 1, half a dozen the other. Or two, it was going to be Edelman, which nobody thought that was actually going to happen unless there was a major injury on the third string, which, I mean, he had the thumb issue, but outside of that, nobody expected Edelman to be the quarterback. So, I mean, what insight are you trying to say that you had? I mean, stop.
Rex Ryan would.
Rex Ryan, he talks too much.
If he had an insider, you wouldn't give it up though, because you
Stop
would want to think that he would ask that person for more information the next time they played.
Right. Number one. Number two. Who the hell actually believes him?
No, nobody. I think it was a joke. I think it was a poke in the ribs at Belichick because Belichick, does this, he does that. He kind of bends the rules, and he kind of,
He talks too much.
Right.
He talks too much.
And so, Rex Ryan, his career highlights are all wins over Belichick. Do you know what I mean? Like, he plays him the most. That's his biggest enemy. He never. His stature is now against. He measures himself against Belichick because he hasn't really been in Super Bowl competition outside of 1 or 2 years with Mark Sanchez at the helm when he was with the Jets. But for the most part, he has to kind of, at the end of his career, he's going to look at how he was against Belichick and probably define himself off of that. So every time he wins, he just gets a little more excited about it.
He hasn't even won that often, though.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think his record's all that good. I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's not
great.
against Belichick.
He's a guy that talks a lot for somebody that doesn't make the playoffs often. He's a guy, congratulations. You got that AFC title game twice.
Yeah.
That was, 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's irrelevant. It really is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree that like what he did at that time.
He beat the Patriots on their third string that's injured. Stop talking.
I think he does consistently beat them though throughout the years. But the thing is it doesn't produce into rings, and that's kind of more of the bigger thing, and that's why you're like, okay, so for this 1 week you get to gloat, but stop talking. Moving on from the Patriots and the Bills.
Yeah.
There's only 3 undefeated teams left. The most impressive of them, you would have to say, is most likely either Denver or Minnesota.
I'm glad you put it that way.
Slightly, I would say, impressive.
Minnesota.
Because it was unexpected. Like, Denver is still impressive, and we'll get into how they're doing it. But Minnesota, because without, their starting quarterback for the last 2 years goes down, a week before the season. Yep. Adrian Peterson goes down a week into the season. Their defense is so smothering, though, that makes it, Sam Bradford only had about 2 or 3 good drives throughout the entire game, but that's all you needed to do. You're going to win every time, 2 or 3 good drives. Yeah, and when the game got within 7, the thing I am impressed about Minnesota is they put the ball in Bradford's hand. They let it open up a little bit. He drove him right down the field and scored a touchdown. So I was impressed with that. But like I said, the focus of Minnesota is without question their defense.
Yeah, absolutely. The reason why they're winning is because of their defense. But Sam Bradford is he's fulfilling the...
More than enough.
Yeah, and he's filling the role that, what's his name left?
Bridgewater?
Yeah, he's fulfilling it, and then some.
I think he's doing it better.
I was gonna say he's a little more poised back there. Because he's been there and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
As far as that's concerned, but I actually think Denver's slightly more
impressive.
I think they're slightly more impressive just because of the fact that I thought they were going to be 3rd or 4th in their division because in the quarterback situation in the division because of the quarterback. I thought the defense was going to do enough to keep them in the 3rd place spot, but man, their defense is literally carrying them. When I look at Minnesota, I feel like Stafford's doing enough to be respectable. I don't think the quarterback situation in Denver is as impressive. I know they're doing enough as what's his name?
Simeon. Simeon.
I feel like he's done enough to be decent and to make him go, he's playing decently. But
Paxton Lynch came in because Simeon got hurt, which it's impressive. He had
a
great second half, perfectly fine.
Right, and the fact that you can pretty much seemingly throw any quarterback in that situation and they're still going to be the same team is more impressive.
Outside of the first game,
Matthew Stafford looks good.
Yeah,
but I think Denver is slightly better in that sense.
Outside of the first game, I haven't watched much of Denver, but what I can say is that, like you said, it seems like you can throw any quarterback in there. They're probably having a little better quarterback play, it seems like, this year than they did last year.
Definitely.
If you look at it in that sense, as good as the defense is, it turns out, they're going to be better than last year. So it's incredible what their defense is doing. Incredible. My thing with Sam Bradford is he always had the talent.
I said Matthew Stafford.
Oh, yeah.
Skirt!
He always had the talent. Sam Bradford always had the talent that we have gone back and forth with, especially last year him being an Eagle. Right. But to do it without the running back and that's the biggest thing.
It's both impressive. They both are
both impressive. But the main portion of it is how good both defenses are. I mean, they are obviously elite.
So would you give the nod to Denver or Minnesota? Because honestly, if I'm looking at...
If they're going head-to-head, I'd pick a Denver just because of situational understanding and they've been there.
I'm going with Denver because I think their defense is more experienced. They got the DeMarcus Ware. They got the...
But it's not like Minnesota. Minnesota's a missed field goal away from going to the NFC Championship last year. So
you're right. I just think Denver has more to prove because I feel like they heard all the talk all offseason that they were done.
It wasn't just us that picked them to be low in their division. Everybody picked them to be low in their division.
And then you got the guys like Von Miller. You got DeMarcus Ware. I think they have a pride factor.
To lead.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's a pride factor going into this season. Yeah. And everybody was saying you're not going to be anything this year without quarterback. And they said, our defense is still top 3. We're going to show that to you guys, and it doesn't matter who's on offense. We're going to put our quarterback and our offense in the best position to keep us competitive and keep us in the hunt. And thus far, they've done that. At this point, one of us could be the quarterback, and we're going to be at the same point. We're going to have the same record.
it's not like they have this, a super special running back. C.J. Anderson's not, an elite, top-notch running back. So it is impressive to see what they're doing. But like we said, Minnesota's doing the same thing on the other end, and they're doing it without their elite, impressive running back. Head-to-head, you're right. Probably Denver. So, but still, I think I'm more impressed with Minnesota.
Fair enough.
Moving on, team I'm not impressed with, lost to a team that I am impressed with. Arizona lost to the Rams this week. If you look at the numbers without the score, you would think Arizona beat them by 100, by the way. I mean, the numbers are just crazy in Arizona, yardage, this to everything.
It's so bad, dude.
Except turnovers like crazy. LA's defense is swarming. They probably have, with J.J. Watt out, Aaron Donaldson, who is one of the best, might be the best defensive lineman in the game while J.J. Watt's out. So it is impressive what LA's defense is doing, but I think the story we're both going to think is more on Arizona because it's kind of question marks.
I said it last week, dude. I'm pretty much done with Arizona. There's such a disappointment.
Yeah.
And it all comes down, for me, is the quarterback play. Carson Palmer, he's just crumbling.
And he got hurt.
Right. So
at the end of the game.
That doesn't have the situation. Like I said, I'm off the bandwagon. It sucks because I really like Larry Fitzgerald. I kind of like Carson Palmer.
I like Dockett on the other side of their ball and Tyrann Matthew.
The defense has been solid for several years. I like the head coach.
Bruce Arians.
But it's just not working out offensively.
Something's not clicking for them overall, and they've now lost 3 games, 2 of them that you were just not seeing coming at all. LA has been much better this year than expected. They are 3-1 now. I mean, they lost 28-0 on that first Monday night game, but they're on a 3-game winning streak.
Yeah.
They went across country, beat Tampa Bay last week. The week before that, it was Seattle at home, so that's impressive. And going on the road and beating Arizona in Arizona is impressive.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And when you say what you're going to say, I'm going to have a response to it. How good do you think their defense is? Because this is... And we've talked about it on this show. We both say that their defense is really good.
I would say top 10 or top 5, but my thing with them is the...
Okay.
Their offense, it puts way too much pressure on them because they can't... Like, people are just putting 8 in the box and running with Gurley. Gurley has under 3 yards a rush. He's still one of the best running backs in the league.
Definitely.
It's just that there's 8 guys in the box. I mean, they know what they know they're going to run the ball over and over and over. That takes a huge toll on a defense. Like... Other top, like Sam Bradford, we just talked about Minnesota. What makes their defense so much better is that they're not super worried about how poor their offense can play at times. LA is just skating on ice with only working it with a defense.
Fair enough. I mean, the reason why I brought it up is because everybody talks like they're a top 5 defense, but in actuality, I looked it up. I looked up some stats this week because we're at week 4 of the season. Now's the time for me. This is when I started looking at stats.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the stats for the Rams, and yards allowed, believe it or not, they're actually 23rd.
Yeah, no, I believe that.
And in points allowed, they are 9th, but in saying that, if they're 9th in points allowed, guess what? Guess who's right behind them?
Who?
The Dallas Cowboys are 10th in points allowed. So does that make the Cowboys just as good as the Rams defense? Because all I hear is about is how good the Rams defense is, and the Cowboys, points-wise, are 1 step below them. And to me, the Cowboys, their defense isn't that good. So when I see it statistically with those numbers, I'm like, well, then maybe the Rams aren't that good. When I see 23rd in yards allowed, that tells me the Rams defense isn't that good.
This is blindly guessing. This is just me trying.
On paper, I'm saying the Rams are definitely absolutely more better than Cowboys. But when I see the numbers, I'm like,
saying, here, hold on. The number that would probably offset that the most, that would probably show you. Go look at time on the field. Go look at time.
Maybe
like literal actual numbers. And I would say LA, and I don't know. I would say they're probably close to a quarter, if not almost double more than what Dallas has probably been on the field. Just due to offense.
I don't question.
But that's why the numbers are going to be skewed one way or the other.
I don't question time of position at all. But I'm just looking at the yards perspective and how everybody hypes up the St. Louis defense or. But if the LA defense, and then I look at Dallas, I'm like, it's kind of similar.
If they're running 10 to 15 more plays against LA's defense, that's what, you know what I'm saying? That's what people are probably, and I don't know that. That's just what my assumption would be, is that LA's defense is probably on the field a lot more than Dallas is just.
We've talked, like I said, we've talked about how good the Rams defense is.
Yeah.
but I just thought it was interesting when I saw the numbers earlier. I was like, how great are they? I don't know.
Speaking of Dallas, they went on the road and got a pretty big win in San Francisco.
Means nothing to me.
No, I mean, a win's a win in the NFL. Dak Prescott going on the road especially. He looked good. Zeke looked good. Defense didn't look bad.
The only thing that I will give my Cowboys is they were down 14-0 and Dak came back and won. And that was the big knock against them was, how is he going to react when he's down? Yeah. And when they were down 14-0, I was like, I think this is it. I actually thought, they're going to get blown out. He's not going to be able to respond well. But he came back and he beat San Francisco. But at the end of the day, it's San Francisco, 1. And 2, everybody gets on the whole, he doesn't complete balls down the field. But, it doesn't matter to me. Because at the end of the day, as long as you get the W, I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you're chucking, 9 for 9, 10 for 10, 12 for 12, 20 yards deep. Or if you're checking 20 for 20, 5 yards or shorter, I'm good with that.
It's not his fault he's running plays better that he's given than Carson Palmer's running that Carson Palmer's given. You know what I mean? That's basically what you're saying.
Definitely. I wasn't impressed with who they beat. I was impressed with the fact that they were down 14-0. And good for Dak Prescott because, that's what he needed to do. He needed to prove the fact that he could hang in when it's difficult.
We talked about it last week. The next couple weeks are really going to be where we want to see how not just him, their whole team, but mainly him go through and thrive.
Definitely.
But you do have to take it week by week, and that is a good win. That's a pretty big win.
It's a good win.
Pounded the ball with Ezekiel Elliott. The offensive line threw everybody around in front of them. The defense didn't, outside of those first 2 touchdowns, which were pretty quick, they've actually played a really solid game throughout the rest of it because of the way the offense played.
Right. Defense is good. We're getting, I just lost his name. We're getting our best pass rusher back coming this week against Cincinnati. But our secondary, it's so hit or miss. It's not what it was last year. Last year we were kind of middle of the road defense. This year we're slightly a little worse than that. But against San Francisco we look good, but it's against San Francisco. It doesn't mean a whle lot to me. I want to see.
It's a good confidence builder, especially going into these next couple weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Because like you said, it's only going to get harder. So you beat the team that you're supposed to beat, as far as I'm concerned. So hey, good for them.
I was impressed by them to be 3-1 without your
could be 4-0
without your quarterback, and Dez hasn't been effective mainly at all, and he was out for this win on the road, which is another big thing.
And
Jason Garrett's the head coach.
Okay, 3. So I'm not going to deny that. And 2 linemen are out.
Yes, you're right. You're
2 offensive linemen.
Their offensive line are still throwing everybody around, which is impressive.
Come on, man. That's pretty impressive. They're doubling Cole Beasley, which was his, safe goat.
Yeah.
They forgot about Jason Witten, but
we didn't talk about Odell, and this will kind of segue with it.
Lord.
Dez being out, right? I heard a stat the other day that Dez, when he's on the field, and this kind of goes with my whole wide receivers, running backs, and point guards are kind of the most useless positions in sports, but they are. The Cowboys are 44-43 with Dez on the field. That's not anything necessarily against Dez because we are talking a major team sport.
Yeah.
But
you know what's funny that you brought that up?
Yeah.
Is that they were saying going into the 49ers game is that, he's not going to be able to do it without Dez. And I'm like, he hasn't gone to Dez. He went to Cole Beasley.
Right.
Somehow, some way, kind of went towards Jason Witten just by default, especially this last game.
Yeah.
But up until the 49ers game, he didn't go to Dez Bryant. So that was kind of funny to me.
Now, we were on the topic because I said that, speaking of him and Odell, people were all like, he doesn't go to meetings, this, that, the next thing. Look, he shows up, he performs. I don't think there's a problem with that. That's not what I want to get into. My thing is Odell.
Oh, my God.
Do you think, because I don't have an issue with Odell punching the kicker thing and it coming and hitting him. It's funny.
The net when it smacked him right in the mouth.
It's funny to me. But it's not. But it doesn't bother me that he's fired up on the sidelines. He's upset this the next thing.
No, not at all.
Where my thing is on the field, it looks like a quarterback can say a couple words, put his hands on, not even really push him, and you have Odell just getting 15-yard flags, and that's where it starts to kind of affect everybody else. Yes.
So you're saying Odell's acting soft?
Yeah, soft, absolutely, and. You play a position that if people see that, especially quarterbacks. I mean, look at like a Steve Smith who argues with how many quarters throughout the league every week.
Right.
He's arguing with somebody, so obviously they are going to argue back.
Dude, I'm good with passion, as you know. Like,
Yes.
Especially everybody gets on Des Bryant, but
Yes.
I'm good with passion as long as it.
His comes from more of the right area than it looks like Odell's does.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That to me, Des shows a passion. He shows a willingness to want to succeed and want to win and to motivate his team. Odell, he's starting. I kind of want to put the. You know how I make fun of the whole Eli crying phase? It's about to become the Odell crying phase, and it's funny because he actually cried the one time when he got hit in the face, and then Eli was like, "Oh, it was so cute." Odell's acting like a punk, yo. Can I just say that? Odell Beckham's acting like a punk because after the game he was like, "Well, if I sneeze, I'm gonna get the call a timeout." Skirt.
I was gonna say that. I agree, 100%.
Bruh. There's a rule named after you for acting the way that you act. Why are you playing the victim card saying they're just coming after me? If I do this, they're going to come after me no matter what I do. Dude, there is a rule in place because of the way that you act. Because you act like a fuck. You act like a punk.
My whole thing is,
why don't you, like,
the first thing I would have said as a reporter to him is, I know
do you know there's a rule named after you?
I know that you think that the NFL is against you, and I know you think it's like you.
Stop. Wah.
You do realize that Antonio Brown has been fined twice this year for celebrations?
You know,
exactly.
Odell Beckham is the reason why we have this punk ass. Punk ass unsportsman. What the hell do they call it?
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
This unsportsmanlike shit where if I taunt on you, oh, that's what it is.
Two of them you get thrown out. It's taunting.
So
Two of them you get thrown out.
Because guess what? If I'm playing you in football and we're on the field and I see that you're weak-minded and you're going to react to whatever I do, I'm going to fuck with you and I'm going to get the reaction.
And that's what they're doing.
You got the flag on Jared Hood.
That's what Minnesota did on Monday night. And then Odell, I mean, and I didn't have an issue with it up until this. He's also becoming the story outside of the locker room. So now they're not focused on the football game. They're focused on talking to the media about Odell. What is this? The whole thing, it's kind of getting spiraling out of control. He's got to control himself, check himself, put everything in motion. I don't care that he has passion, but I think it's now time to
I don't care.
channel that passion in a different way. I mean, look at Dez. Dez is able to, he's not, blowing up on the sidelines anymore. And even when he was, it seems like it was coming from a better place than this season.
Definitely. Odell's out there acting like the overrated dude that I thought he was. Frankly, I think he's overrated. He had spectacular plays. He had a great play, the one-handed thing, which is now legendary. But
outside of
everybody in their mom.
Minnesota, he's usually the last 2 years.
Everybody in their mom does this now.
I know, but the last 2 years he's been consistently 100 yards a game.
He's been good. He's been very good.
Yeah.
Do I think he's a top wide receiver? I do
think
not.
He's a top 10.
I don't think he might be 10. He's not 5, as far as I'm concerned.
Antonio Brown,
I think he's getting exposed now.
Quick, though. Antonio Brown, Julio, Hopkins, Dez.
That's 4.
It's hard to go much further to get to Odell, though, yeah? So can you name another one in front of him? Green Bay. You think Jordan Nelson's better than him? I'd take Odell before I took Jordan Nelson.
No.
I would take.
He might be 6.
I would take Odell, but that's my point.
Odell might be 6.
So, I know what you're saying, but it's only his 3rd year in the league as well. That's impressive. All those other guys are 5+ years in the league. I'm talking about.
That's fine. I just know they all don't act like punks like he's been acting.
I know what you're saying. That's a bad position to be acting that way.
T.O.
Yeah.
Just saying. I like T.O.
I love T.O.
But then afterwards, you know what else he said? He was like, "It's not fun playing here with the Giants anymore." Did you hear about that? Oh, you didn't hear that quote. You didn't. He's not having fun. I guess it's not having fun having no touchdowns.
He definitely should have said that, and
being 1 or 2 and whatever the hell he is, 2 and 1, 1 and 3,
That media is brutal. Maybe that's what's getting to him. That's not good news for the Giants, though. Especially.
I guess it's not fun.
He revived Eli's career almost single-handedly. Eli was on his way out the door.
Let me see. You do a spectacular catch with stickum gloves and expose that whole situation. And ESPN does an article, does a report about it.
Cover about it.
And then you have that.
Because of it.
And you dye your hair to stand out, and you're so vocal and to stand out. And now all of a sudden people are like, you know what? You're kind of weak-minded. We're going to attack you. And that bothers you and that flushes you into having a bad game. I guess you're not having fun anymore because you're not able to do what you want to do, which is to ball out, I guess, in your eyes. But to me, he's not that talented. I'm sorry.
I mean, I think he was only targeted like 6 times or 5 times last night, or in the Monday night game. That's not enough.
I know honestly. In 4 games
Julio's getting 12 catches out here. You know what I mean?
I know in 4 games he doesn't have a touchdown. At least Des Bryant, he doesn't have his quarterback, as T.O. would say. So I mean, what's your excuse, Odell? Why don't you get out there? Stop being an emotional fuck and get out there and ball out.
Well, I brought up another really good wide receiver, Antonio Brown. What about Pittsburgh coming back after getting run over by Philly? You did. They came out and they acted like Kansas City wasn't even on the football field.
That's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They didn't show up against Philadelphia.
I don't know what the final was, but it was 33-0 at one point in that Sunday night game.
It was disgusting. Kansas City, I think they had one score.
So 33-7 or something like that was the final. That's crazy.
It was a joke. Pittsburgh, they are who I thought they were.
Yeah.
They came out and did exactly what they were supposed to do.
If you thought Pittsburgh was gone, now you think they're back. So
if you thought they were gone, you were.
Yeah, I agree.
You should just stop watching football in the first place.
Yeah.
Philadelphia broke out a win. Congratulations, they deserve it. But 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, I'm taking Pittsburgh in that situation.
When you're as good as a team as them, this is the way you want to respond. They did exactly how you expect them to, like you said. So that was impressive. I just wanted to bring that into the light. Oakland and Baltimore is the last game I want to talk about just because it was so crazy, wild back and forth. I like both teams. I thought both teams played a really good football game. Baltimore came back in it. Steve Smith had a great catch. Crabtree with the 3.
Good to see Steve Smith out there.
Yeah, the Crabtree with the 3 touchdowns was impressive. Carr is like, I don't know how he's pulling it out. I mean, magic man, like magician.
This dude's come out of nowhere.
They are 3-1. Outside of the Atlanta game, they've looked almost unstoppable on offense at times. I mean, that's 3.
I was gonna say, is it a competition? But I mean,
that's 3 1 o'clock wins also. 1 o'clock time slot wins for Oakland, which is impressive for a West Coast team. We keep going.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Philly's actually ranked number 1 on defense. Baltimore's ranked 2nd.
I know.
That's weird.
I know. I told you I thought Baltimore was going to be better than everyone expected this year.
I'm saying it's weird that Oakland was actually able to
play the way they did.
At them. Yeah.
It's because their offense. I do think their offense is legit. I think they have a good offense. They need to find their tight end a little more in Wofford, but he stepped
offensively,
up.
they're coming better. How much does San Francisco miss Crabtree, by the way?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How much should they regret letting that go? Because he's ball. He
over one
I see why San Francisco
got into a fight. Over one play that him and Sherman.
I mean, I see why they let him go. He wasn't really playing the way he's playing now.
I know, but he was a top 10 receiver when they let him go. He was, and he fell off for 2 years because he went to Oakland.
He's definitely better now.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
But how much should they regret that?
Probably a lot today.
Good for Oakland. I mean, hey, when the Raiders are good, that's just good for football.
I agree. Anything else you want to talk about with football before I?
Not particularly.
No, it was a good week. I told you last week how rough I thought those picks were going to be. It was a fun, entertaining week though. Most games were really close. Quickly, baseball starting this week for the playoffs.
Are Phillies in it? I really don't know. I'm not fuck with you.
They were one of the worst teams in baseball. Really? Not the worst team, but they were bottom of the barrel. I would say.
I know what's his name retired.
Ryan Howard. They're letting him go. I don't know. I think he'll probably try to continue to play. I'm not really sure if he's going to or not, but
really, I thought he was done.
If I'm being personally brutally honest, he probably should consistently start in a lineup for anybody. I mean, if you want to throw him in there every now and then, I guess for the threat of him hitting a home run's great. Playing him once every 4 or 5 days, but the way he's hit over the last couple of years. Now, if you put him in the AL and he can work on nothing but hitting, maybe that will be a difference and good for him if he can find a swing back. But I personally don't see it. Either way, appreciate what Ryan Howard did as a Phillies fan. I mean, he franchise-changing player. Without him, 08 he is the centerpiece of the World Series, and that's the only championship of teams I like in my lifetime. So
Hey, as a non-baseball fan, he's the only name I know of that championship team. So I mean, hey,
the last couple of years, him and the fans and the organization have had a pretty rough relationship. He said some things, and I have been one of the people who have been critical on him without question because he put himself in that position. Now, I have always said throughout the whole time being critical with him, he signed a big contract. I don't fault him for signing the big contract. That's not his fault. They offered him a bunch of money, and he took it. Everybody would do it.
Yeah.
So all the things that I got on him about, I was understanding the original place of why the fans were getting on him. Anyways, not the point. if you could put that aside for what he did for the franchise, and I mean his first 4 or 5 years, it's some of the most impressive years for a baseball player, more or less, that I've ever seen. So, obviously, super grateful, appreciate to him. Another guy who retired, who made the playoffs though, well, a guy who is retired who made the playoffs is Big Papi, David Ortiz.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I'm actually rooting for a Boston-Chicago World Series because Chicago's general manager is Theo Epstein, who was the GM of Boston when they broke the 100-year curse, and now he's the GM of the Cubs, who have a 100+ year curse. So if he wins it, he goes down as the best GM of all time if they win it. He might be the best GM of all time even if they never win it, as him as the Cubs GM. But he'll definitely, without question, they win the World Series. He goes down as the best GM. I want to see those two teams play in the World Series.
Definitely.
For Big Papi.
I like Big Papi.
I love Big Papi.
I like him.
For the Theo Epstein storyline, and I like a lot of the Cubs players as well. So. And plus, anytime you get to see Fenway in October is always fun as well. So,
definitely.
I'm a fan of that.
Part of my ignorance, because I don't follow baseball, obviously, but are the Yankees in this?
No, they did not. This is the first year, and I'm pretty sure they ended up with a winning record. Actually, they might have had a losing record. I know they were bordering. They haven't had a losing record since like 1992 or 1993. So if they did get a losing record,
that's impressive in itself.
It is crazy.
Oh yeah,
crazy. I mean, it's different.
Almost our entire life.
It's different than like any other sport though, because in all the other sports you don't see that because of the salary cap. It's designed for teams to go worst to first. Baseball doesn't have a salary cap, so teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox can just. And they can always never have a losing season. Now, they didn't make the playoffs.
That's kind of shocking.
Next year, the year after. Yeah, I think once every couple years this happens with them. They go through a year or two drought where they don't make it. They do this, and this, and then they're back, being World Series contenders. Losing Jeter, that was kind of a weird era for them. They're trying to place everything perfectly. The whole A-Rod contract had them handcuffed for a while. So this offseason...
They were in a funky spot.
This offseason kind of starts to turn them more back to the Yankees that you're used to, where they're just out there getting everybody and doing this, that, and the next thing. Back to the teams that are in it, though. I'm also rooting for the Dodgers because Chase Utley and another player for the Phillies, Chooch, is on the Dodgers. But honestly, I mean, if the Giants win the one-game playoff, everyone thinks that it's one of those years. It's an even year, and they win it every even year for the last 3 ones. So San Francisco probably wins. I don't know. I honestly don't have a prediction on who wins because outside of maybe the Nationals, I think everybody could do it. The only reason I say outside of the Nationals is because I don't think their bullpen is strong at all. I think they're really good outside of their bullpen, but every other team has an incredible bullpen. So I think postseason baseball this year is going to be really fun because the teams are really competitive, more than usual.
I know it's usually pretty close.
You have fun things like last year at Kansas City pull it off. So I mean, there's no real small story like that. It's all pretty good powerhouses, which is also very fun for the sport. It'll be interesting. I'm sure we'll cover it more as the time goes on. The last thing in the pre-show, I was asking you to go back and forth, and you actually brought up. You want to talk about a Sixer quick, so we can. My boy Ben Simmons getting hurt.
It's breaking news.
Can I?
You get it?
I get it.
You get it?
Can I put it in perspective? Like,
can I throw you a bone?
If he ends up being,
you get it?
Yeah, I get it. If he ends up being 3/4 of what?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's stop.
Exactly.
No, I'm saying what you're about to say, it doesn't matter. Let's stop. Can we just have 5 seconds of laugh at you guys? Bro, this is the 3rd year in a row. But
he's not going to miss the entire season.
I don't care.
They didn't draft him hurt.
At least half.
They didn't draft him hurt.
I don't care. At least. Well. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
congratulations.
You said this is going to be the 3rd season.
With a rookie that's it's just fitting. It's fitting. It's such a joke of an organization. I get it. This one isn't your fault. This one out of all the other ones isn't your fault. And good for you for not drafting somebody that's already hurt. But it's so fitting because this is the biggest joke.
People are off the whole Sixers are a joke thing now because the entire organization has turned around this offseason.
They're still a joke.
They have put so much money in their athletic training. They have now changed their entire scouting. They've changed. I mean, they've put themselves back into actual executives and things like that because everyone else didn't like what they were doing in the first one. I know, but now they're doing what people like you hated. Like people like you hated what they were doing, so now they're trying to cater to people like you, and you still think they're
because they still fail at it. So that's
how
funny.
are they failing at it? The season hasn't even started.
Because they drafted somebody and then he got hurt anyway. It's just funny. It's fitting.
He'll be back before the All-Star break.
There was this one movie with Tupac and Janet Jackson. It was called Poetic Justice. This is what I'm calling Philadelphia's little run with their whole. We're going to draft all these rookies.
The Sixers were going 7th, 8th best team in the East. They're not even now. It's obviously not even going to be close.
That's complimentary to them.
The East is just really bad. But
they weren't even hitting that number.
I think they would have got. I think they could have gotten 9th.
By February, they're going to trade. Half that fucking.
They need to trade at least Noel or.
Is he even playing?
Yeah. Everybody outside of Simmons is playing. Embiid is playing. Everybody's playing.
Remember when you told me?
Drodrik's back.
You know how you like to defend about how they blew up the team a couple years ago?
Yeah.
When they were in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's horrible business. How'd that work out for them so far?
Curious. This is the time that they were going to start to build. This is what they were going for.
And then homeboy got hurt anyway, and then the other guys who haven't played at all are
Yeah.
either just coming into their actual rookie year or still kind of hurt.
But by the All-Star break, everyone will be there. I mean, there could be other injuries. You're absolutely right. That happens with everybody. But I mean, I'm not like I'm not super concerned about him getting injured. I'm actually still fairly excited about what they can do as a team because I think Embiid.
I'm trying to say this as objectively as I can.
Noel.
I'm trying to say this as objectively as I can because I hate Philadelphia sports teams especially. And excuse me, I don't watch hockey. I don't watch baseball.
Yeah.
So I can't speak on it, but I can speak on football and basketball.
Yeah.
It's difficult because the way the Eagles have been run, but at least I can see the steps with the Eagles. But when I see the 76ers, to me, they're the biggest joke in sports. And that says a lot when I see the Cleveland Browns and I see...
I was going to say, they're not even close to bad organizationally run like the Cleveland Browns. You know how I feel about...
Not even close. They are close. No, it's debatable. I might give you...
I think the Browns are on their own
island.
I think the Browns are on their own island.
I might. Depending on my mood, I might give you...
the Sixers owners, though. You already know how I feel about all that.
I think
they're a disaster. And I think it starts from the top down in every...
That's fine.
Business organization. I mean, what's my issue with the Titans and the Browns and the Jaguars? I tell you all the time, it's their owner. It's going to be the same thing with the Sixers.
I think the Titans are a better organization. What was the other ones? You said the Browns. It's a corn flip on how I feel. Either way, I think they're one or two worst ran teams in all of sports.
I mean,
in the United States.
Yeah, but I came on here how many months ago and told you how miserably they're run. I tell you that all the time.
I've been telling you for years how miserably they run.
All
I hear is about we got all these picks, man. Give us 3 to 5 years from being 3 to 5 years from being 3 to 5 years.
I used to say 2 years away from being 2 years away, but that 2 years away from being 2 years away is finally here to the now they are the actual 2 years away.
And we're the same spot we were 4 years ago.
But I don't disagree with you. Yes, they are miserably ran as an organization. They are one of the worst. They are one of the worst owner groups in all of sports. Yeah, without question. They don't take care of anything. They never consistently stick with one plan. They're everywhere. They had an idea. They trusted in a guy. They told him they were fully in it, and then they fired him halfway through his process. That sums up who the Sixers organization is. Yes, their owners are ridiculously bad. Yes, I completely agree.
So the 76ers are a joke.
But the reason that you think that, yes, I think their owners are a joke, without question. I don't think the franchise is a joke. I still like them. I still like the team. I still like the players. But
the franchise is a joke.
What's your biggest issue with the Lakers, though, over the last 3 or 4 years?
It's funny because
I
knew he was going to flip
No, what I'm saying
because
that's your biggest issue with them, right? Like, Jerry Jones for 20 years was a really bad owner. What did he start doing? He started letting football people make football decisions again, and now the Dallas Cowboys are winning games without their star quarterback and their best wide receiver. That's incredible. That means they're making the right decisions. But for 20 years, they weren't making the right decisions from the top, and they were bad. Look at Tennessee. Look at, the Jaguars. It comes from the top down. We talk about that all the time.
I knew as soon as I was going to say that the Sixers were the worst organization in all of sports, you were going to mention the Lakers. Which is funny because we won how many championships?
I didn't say they were a bad organization. I'm saying what is your biggest issue with the organization over the last 5 years?
I don't like the current owner. I don't like Jimbo.
And That's what I'm trying to explain.
Jimbo's been in charge for what, 3 years maybe?
And those were 3 miserable. They were 3 bad operationally run basketball years. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that's all I'm trying to say.
But
I
that's
agree
the
with
Sixers
you.
for what, 30 years?
I didn't say that the Lakers were a bad organization. I'm telling you that it is a great example of me explaining why they're, you know what I'm saying, in the position they're in. That's what happens in sports. You get a bad owner, you have no shot from the beginning.
Sixers have been bad since 01.
No.
Except the year they blew up the team.
Yeah. Okay. I think that was it. Moving on from the basketball talk, getting into our picks this week for the NFL. Wait, last week I went 6-9.
Oh, that's miserable.
Told you both. It felt like every single time we were talking about a game, I was like, "This was a tough one for me. This one was a tough one for me." Obviously, they were extremely tough for me. I went 6-9.
So you brought it back for me, is what you're saying, because I went 8-7, which is, I mean, the 2 weeks prior I was 8-8. So I mean,
Right, 2 wins, 2 wins. I'm 36-27 on the season now.
you're fucking 36-27.
Yeah, I had a really good first 3 weeks. Really good first 3 weeks.
Yeah, because I'm only 33.
I had 30 wins in those first 3 weeks. Yeah.
I'm 33-30, so you still got. I thought it was a 2-game stretch now. Now you're still 3 games ahead of me.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, we still a lot of season left. It's only.
That's how horrible I did the first couple of weeks, dude.
It's true.
It really is. I can't even say anything.
It is only week 5 though.
It is. You can bring it back.
On Thursday night game, Arizona going to San Francisco. We don't know about Carson Palmer starting. I picked Arizona
If we all know.
because of the concussion. They said that he was in the air.
So
So
concussion.
yeah.
I didn't watch the game. So
Like
I don't
middle of the third quarter, late in the third quarter. I'm pretty sure he got a concussion.
Huh.
So Drew Stanton might be starting for Arizona. If Carson Palmer starts, I'm picking Arizona. If he does
Here
not,
we go with these what ifs.
I'm going San Francisco. I'll tweet it before the game. I can't go with Drew Stanton. I'm sorry. As Arizona's quarterback, especially when they've been playing. But that's one of those situations that watch them go out and win it. But either way, I'm holding to it. If Carson Palmer starts, I'm taking Arizona. If not, I'm probably taking San Francisco.
Dude, I said last week that I was done with Arizona, but I'm actually going to Arizona because I think the 49ers are just that much weaker of a team. I don't believe in Chip Carey. I don't believe in their quarterback situation.
They played a bunch of strong games, and they've lost 3 of them. So
fair enough. I mean, Arizona needs to get this victory. I mean, this is as close to a away/home game as they can get. So I feel like they need to go on the road to San Francisco and get this win. Otherwise,
their season's done.
They're
their season might be done as it is. So
I think it's done.
this win.
Right. I think it's kind of done now, but this is a victory that is like, okay, you have to get this one.
No.
If not,
I totally understand and agree. Questions are already flying in that locker room. It gets a lot worse if we lose to San Francisco. Especially on Thursday night, everyone's going to be talking about it Friday. It doesn't matter who's playing in that game. Everyone talks about the NFL game on Friday. So, like, a lot of spotlight on you.
prime time, let's go.
Chicago going to Indianapolis. This is a very interesting game because, well, both teams aren't that good. Though Indianapolis has the better quarterback. I'm picking the Colts, but, man,
What do you mean, man?
Their team is just...
They're both horrible.
They're very hard to watch. The Colts are very hard to watch around Andrew Luck, and he ends up looking really bad with all his turnovers. Is that the next thing? But, you know, we already know how I feel about him. Chicago pulled out a win against Detroit. Their defense... I mean, Detroit's offense is really good. For them to shut them down. Matt Stafford was the best quarterback in the league since, I think, Week 8 last year going into that game. So, it was impressive.
But... I'm going to Indianapolis.
It was confusing. I'm going Indy as well because I don't think I think that's an anomaly for Chicago. I don't think that happens a lot.
You know, I don't think Chicago's trash. Like you said, it's an anomaly. They're not any good. As much as I don't think
they only scored 17 points. I mean, you know, you would expect the Colts to be able to score 25 and win that game.
You would hope. I mean, as much as I think the Colts suck, which I do, I don't think they suck as much as the Bears.
Okay.
I think they definitely have a more stable quarterback situation. So I'm going to Indianapolis.
Absolutely.
They lost embarrassingly in England last week against Jacksonville. So come on now, you got to get this one at home.
I agree.
I guess the Bears. Come on now.
I agree with that.
Act right.
Philly going on the road to Detroit. Philly got beat up.
This makes me sick.
Bad last year on Thanksgiving in Detroit. I'm going with Philly.
Of course you are.
Well, yeah. The way they played going into the bye week, I'm all in on the Wentz wagon. Detroit, though, as I said, their offense is really good. So there's definitely potential there. I think it's gonna be a close game. I'm going with Philly.
This makes me sick because I'm waiting for that Philadelphia reality check, just like the New York Giants got in the same division.
Yeah.
But I'm going Philly. I just don't buy into the Lions, but
bad organizationally ran, as we were talking about earlier.
yeah, I just have to go Philly, and that grinds my soul because I really want this reality check for y'all, and I feel like it's coming. I thought it was coming against Pittsburgh, but it didn't work out. But I think it's just gonna keep going, unfortunately.
How about a local rivalry only about 100 miles away from each other? Washington playing Baltimore this week. I mean, I have Baltimore. I think Baltimore has played 4 really good games. They lost to Oakland, obviously, but I feel like their offense has played well in the second half of every game. And as you said, their defense obviously has been incredible.
I'm going Baltimore just because, their defense, they're the second ranked defense in the league behind the Eagles, which is still weird to me. But I'm going with the safe bet, which is their defense, which is they're going to show up when they want to show up. And against Washington and a questionable quarterback situation.
Washington has struggled mightily in every game, and they struggled a lot against Cleveland last week at home. So, it's just all signs point to Washington doesn't have it together at all right now, and Baltimore seems to.
I would trust Washington more so on the road, but on the road,
still.
or at home, I should say, I don't trust them on the road. I just don't.
Tennessee going to Miami. I'm
such a joke.
Picking Miami because they have better weapons on offense. Outside of DeMarco Murray, Tennessee's offense looks kind of stale, even though they've been close in most games they played that Mariota started. It's just...
Mariota's in that whole second-year quarterback slump. He
Yeah.
has 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
Like you said, DeMarco Murray, he's been balling out. He's actually on my fantasy team, and I highly appreciate the way he's been playing because he's been balling out for me. I kind of stole him in a sense, but like I said last week, this is a team that I've jumped off, and unlike Arizona, I'm just not going with them this week. I'm going with Miami just by default.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Miami that one. Houston going to Minnesota. I mean, I think the way that Minnesota's going, everybody across the board is probably going to pick the Purple Rain, as they would like to say. That defense is so legit and fun to watch. I am excited to see the high-powered weapons on the outside and the running back and Lamar Miller from Houston against that defense. I still think Minnesota wins.
Minnesota. Purple Rain. Let's go.
New England going to Cleveland. Tommy, the
This
GOAT,
should be quick.
coming back.
What a joke. What a bye week for Tom Brady.
You don't think Charles Pryor goes off on that defense and
Was that a joke?
Cleveland 17, New England 14? No? You don't foresee this Sunday? Okay. I'm going to take New England as well. I think that Gronk opens it up for the first time this season. I think Tom Brady's
walking into a team that is 3-1, and he's facing the Cleveland Browns, which is pretty much scrimmage play at this point.
Yeah, but he's not going to take it as a scrimmage. I said it earlier in the show.
Oh,
they could win this game.
He's
going to
win
this
out,
game by
but
70 because they have so much motivation right now. I feel really bad for the Browns. I do.
It's a guaranteed victory.
There is no ever super locks in the NFL, but I think that's about as close as you will ever get to a super lock. The Jets going to Pittsburgh. Man, the Jets look a mess on offense at times. They're really good, really talented. Fitzpatrick, it's not the Jets. Fitzpatrick looks a mess on offense at times.
9 interceptions in 2 weeks. That's horrible.
7 of them have been in the red zone.
Horrible.
7
Absolutely
of those
horrible.
9 have been in the red zone. That is all you have to
He's making me look bad because I was saying that the Jets need to sign him.
We both thought that he was the 7 of 9 picks in the red zone.
They looked so good last year. He looked so good last year.
They actually look good at times now if you watch them.
He had a good game this year, the first
It's
week.
the turnovers. He didn't have a bad last week against Kansas City was bad. He wasn't even miserable against Seattle. He went to Richard Sherman. He got picked off by Richard Sherman twice, but I still think Marshall had almost 100 yards. So it's not like he was killed in that matchup. It was just the turnovers are just too much.
I should just get my terrible title out because I'm going Steelers.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Pittsburgh as well, especially the way that offense was high rolling last week. In the 4 o'clock games, talk about a team in Atlanta who...
Hot Atlanta.
Yeah, but
3-1.
they are going to play Denver. That's a really interesting, intriguing matchup.
To me, it's not.
I'm taking Denver.
I'm taking Denver as well. I think their defense is... It's so overpowering. I think they're going to put Atlanta in that reality check that they deserve at this point. But
Denver's just an elite team. Atlanta has an elite offense, but Denver is an elite overall team. I'm picking.
Atlanta's defense is horrible.
Yeah, I'm picking the Broncos. I think that. Julio still gets 100 though. Right?
I can't even say that.
That's interesting. I'm going Julio gets 100 and a loss.
I can't even say that. Oh, and a loss. That's horrible.
Yeah.
I can't even say
300
that.
last week. If he gets 300 again, though, they win.
He might get 80, but he's still going to lose.
Oh.
Regardless.
Buffalo,
he can get that Julio 300. He is going to lose.
Buffalo's going to cross country to take on the Rams. Buffalo has 2 big wins the last 2 weeks. The Rams have had interesting 3 games. Everything in me wants to pick Buffalo. I'm not. I'm going with LA. I don't know why. I don't know what was forcing me to just not go. For some reason, I don't just trust Buffalo yet, I think.
I feel you.
Also, after last week, I mean, they are just, we're this, we're that. I mean, they probably feel like, because they beat the Patriots, they're up here.
They're high and mighty. They're on that Rex Ryan.
It's one of those, you're going across country, you're going against the Rams, no one's going to be watching, then blah, 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 blah. I got the Rams. I don't know. Just something tells me I need to go with them, and I think that they've been the surprise of the NFL. They could go 4-1. They'd be the super surprise of the NFL.
I don't know. I mean, dude, have we picked a game that we were opposite? Because I'm going with the Rams as well.
I don't know. We might have, might not have.
I don't think we have.
We might have picked this one opposite. A team that you always like and support versus a team that you kind of doubt that I like and support. San Diego going to Oakland.
I know we picked differently. Look, I picked San Diego just because I had to. Just because I knew he was going to pick Oakland.
Oakland is 3-1. Their
actually
offense is rolling. All of those 3 wins have been on the road. They look good at home, even in their loss. I got to go with Oakland.
Of course you do. Okay, so I threw out the defensive stats.
Okay.
With Oakland.
Yeah.
So I got a stat.
Oh, their
for you.
defense is miserable.
Right. You love Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
And I already say it's funny.
Had a great second half.
Right. I always say you love Joe Flacco, but you hate Phillip Rivers. That's what I say. Bro, do you know? So statistically, through 4 weeks,
They're like the worst defense of all time, right? Second worst defense of all time?
yards wise, Phillip Rivers
Oh, yeah.
and Joe Flacco. Very similar. That's fine.
Go look at attempts. I guarantee Phillip Rivers has double the attempts. If they're similar, that's not good for Phillip Rivers. Keep going.
Joe Flacco, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
He's thrown more interceptions this year than usual.
Phillip Rivers,
Like 9 touchdowns.
7 touchdowns.
Yeah.
1 interception.
What did I just tell you? They throw the ball. They're down a lot more.
So imagine, if Phillip Rivers has Baltimore's top 2 defense, what happens?
Phillip Rivers probably throws 4 touchdowns. I don't know if he throws 4 interceptions, but they're not throwing the ball as much then. They're not. It's
such
a logistics. Average would always tell you that there is no way they're throwing the ball as much. There's no way.
You hate Phillip Rivers so badly. I don't understand it.
Because he's just not a winner, man.
I'm glad you just said because you just acknowledged
he's just not a winner. He's a good quarterback.
He doesn't have a good team. He doesn't have a good defense behind him. He doesn't have a solid wide receiver or a running back behind him.
I think if Andrew Luck was on the Chargers, they would look better than that.
God damn. I can't deal with how much you hate Phillip Rivers.
Can I put it that way?
Such a joke.
Can I put it that way?
I'm going Phillip Rivers.
I'm going Oakland, obviously, but I think that Oakland's the better.
You know what?
Team.
When I look at these stats, that tells me Phillip Rivers is going to ball out on that mediocre Oakland defense, and that tells me that's a W.
This game could be scored in the high 30s. Last time I said that, the game was scored under 10 points each, but this game could be scored in the high 30s, honestly.
With Phillip Rivers winning.
Cincinnati going to Dallas. This is the start of that stretch that we've been talking about for Dallas. This is the hard one. This is the... I'll get mine out of the way. I picked Cincinnati, but it's only because I think that Cincinnati's defense is complete. They're getting everybody back. I mean, I do. I think they are complete. They played last Thursday, so they have the most time off in between. So many things go. Dallas is flying from San Francisco back to Dallas.
That's 5 minutes away.
From the late game though, so they're not getting home till late on Sunday.
That might be the lamest excuse you ever made, bro. San Francisco to Dallas, that's like a 10-minute flight.
No, they didn't play till 4:25 though. So what I'm saying is, time to prepare is way different.
Don't even use that.
I also think
it's
Cincinnati,
like this close, bro.
I also think Cincinnati offensively, with how good their defense is, they have the weapons to.
Their defense isn't that great.
I think their defense is pretty good. But
their secondary proved what I said last week.
But they have the weapons on the offense to consistently score. If Romo was in this, it's probably a different story, but I'm taking Cincinnati.
This game is hard.
Yeah, it was. I agree.
It really is. This is one of those games that I said the Cowboys were going to lose, and I'm going to stick with that. As much as I'm rooting for them,
it's the start of that. It's the start of a tough stretch.
Yeah, definitely, because we got Cincinnati, then we got Green Bay, and then I think we got Philly after that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a stretch of a tough. It's definitely going to get difficult for Dallas moving forward. If I'm being objective, I'm going to say Cincinnati's going to take this, and as they should, because overall I think they are the more complete team.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm hoping for Dallas to.
Dallas plays the formula to win, that they can compete and beat anybody. They play that formula where you run the ball, you chew the clock, you just make the short underneath pass.
Maybe I don't think that our secondary can handle an AJ Green. I don't think our.
Yeah, he's the obvious clear cut X factor. But as I said before, I don't think that running backs and wide receivers are. I think that in Dallas, going out and getting Ezekiel Elliott was worth it in the sense of, even though I don't think running backs, point guards, and wide receivers are kind of useless, when you have that good an offensive line, you need a running back of that
definitely.
level. So that's why they run. They are the exception to the rule, because they run a style of offense that I think that doesn't matter. They could be out talented all day of the week, but if they can always keep games close, at least to give themselves a chance because of how the style of play that they play.
I'm good with that.
The Giants going to Green Bay. For some reason, the Giants have back-to-back primetime games, kind of where it's 8:30. Green Bay has struggled this year. The Giants have struggled this year. I'm guessing Green Bay has one of those Pittsburgh-like games on national TV and gets themselves back in it. I say that, which means the Giants will probably win. I'm picking the Packers. The Giants just seem like a mess inside their locker room at the moment. Plus, it's a short week, and they're going on the road.
Like I keep saying throughout this whole show, the Giants got the reality check that they deserve, and I think that's just going to be fulfilled. Continue going forward with the Packers. I think the Packers are a much better team than the Giants. Odell Beckham's going to keep trying. He's going to keep he's not going to get a touchdown this week. It's just going to be what it is.
So
I'm going Green Bay.
You talked about how Odell doesn't have a touchdown yet. You don't think he's getting a touchdown at all this week. Cam, on a 2-point conversion, tried to waltz into the end zone.
Boy.
Got knocked out and still crossed that goal line, which Odell hasn't done. So he knocked out. He has, crossed the goal line more than Odell. That's kind of a shot at Cam, though, because don't I always talk about how I wish he got down more, I wish he did this more, I wish he did that more.
Yeah, we definitely talked about that.
If you remember,
he needs to get down.
Last year against the Saints, when he did the same exact, acting like he was walking to the end zone, I came on the show, and the first thing I said was, love the fact that she played well and won. Don't do that again, because somebody could probably hit you.
Mm-hmm. I said as well. I said, dude, you're going to get concussed. And what happened? He finally got concussed.
I want to say it was Herb Edwards that said this. The ref tells you before a boxing match to always keep your head up because you were liable to get hit in this ring before every single match. Like, it's the same thing in the field of play. No matter what, keep your head up. Like, what are you doing? I love Cam. I even like the first down and some of the antics and stuff. The whole waltzing it like that, I said it last year. I did not like that. Like, when it is in the middle of a play, there's just get the 2 points. Because now he put himself in a bad position for the rest of the season. His team in a bad position for the rest of the season. He might not play on Monday. I mean,
I don't know. It's still up in the air, dude.
If he doesn't play, Derek Anderson,
it doesn't even matter.
Is he good enough to beat Tampa Bay? Maybe, but with the way they're playing, I would say Tampa Bay's going to beat him if Derek Anderson's the quarterback. If Cam's in there,
even if Cam's playing horrible, dude. Let's call ball, strike a strike. Cam Newton is not playing good. He has 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He is not playing well, and his defense is playing miserably. Case in point, Julio Jones 300 yards. The team as a whole is playing horrible, and Cam Newton just isn't doing enough like he was last year. Unfortunately,
can I tell you what the difference is this year from what was last year?
The difference is Cam Newton. The difference is their defense. There's 2 things. That's all you need to say. Say the offensive line. Regardless, all 3 spots that you hyped up, especially last year, none of those 3 are playing well this year.
How good their offensive line was last
year.
None
of the 3 are playing this year.
Guess he got sacked 5 times last year. Guess how many times he's already been sacked? 7 this year.
That's not good. That doesn't justify the 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, but that's not good.
I mean, a quarterback under pressure, definitely.
Quarterback's not playing good. The offensive line, the defense is trash.
Everything starts in the trenches. Their defensive line isn't getting as much pressure as they did last year as well. It's all down low for them right now, which is crazy because last year I thought they had the best offense and one of the best defensive lines in the league. Like I'm shocked and marveled when I watched them. Cam can't run around as much because last year, at least when it was one guy breaking free, he could go somewhere else else and he was always protected. Now when he breaks free and goes that other place, it's somebody else hitting him because he's not protected. It's interesting to watch because now he needs to start stepping up and down in the pocket instead of left and right.
So he needs to be a quarterback.
And that's always been the knock on him is that he's not accurate. And I'll be the first person to tell you he's not accurate. But he's gotten more accurate over the years. This year, I do think he's actually been fairly accurate. But, I mean, the hand in his face so often right now. He's getting hit. I think he got hit 48 times. He's only been back to pass, like, you know.
He's the most hit quarterback in the league.
Which is crazy. That's not
Number
good.
one.
And that's
Number one.
It doesn't matter how good you are as a quarterback. Like, my favorite thing about Tom Brady is he gets the ball out in 2 point whatever seconds. It's the fastest release in the league. It's without question the difference maker is he does not get touched. He does not get pressure. He does not. And it's obviously why their offense is 10 times better.
Carolina as a whole just
it's impossible to ask of people. So then you look at a guy like Cam or even Aaron Rodgers. The reason his step back is because his offensive line hasn't been as good. It's just
Aaron Rodgers has been balling out. I don't know what you're talking about.
The last 2 years, his interceptions are way up. Because he has a hand in his face all the time. He has a hand in his face almost every play. I don't credit Aaron Rodgers to these issues. If you have a 350-pound guy with a hand in your face and you're literally 5 out of 6 times that you're dropped back to pass, which they both have had lately, that's what you're going to throw more interceptions. It's just logic. But
I mean, Aaron Rodgers' numbers might be up, but I know he's on my fantasy team. I know he's balling out.
He still puts up plenty of points. But Cam still puts up big fantasy points. Cam still scored 20 plus in every fantasy, which is crazy. I think he scored 19 this week. Like,
he still has 6 touchdowns.
Right, and it's not that. And that's my point.
It's horrible.
But
dude, the entire team is playing miserable.
Exactly. They need to fix it in all 3 phases of their game if they want to step forward. Cam's got to stay healthy though. He can't be walking into 2-point conversions that way.
So who are you going with? Because your other boy Jameis Winston, he hasn't played that well either. He's hitting that Marcus Mariota.
You're talking about numbers. I mean, he's up. His numbers are actually really good.
8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's really good.
Yeah, but his yards are through the roof. He has almost 1,000 yards through 4 games. That's incredible.
I see 8 interceptions, 8 touchdowns.
Again, as I said with the Phillip Rivers thing, throwing all the time. Phillip Rivers holds on to the ball a lot better, obviously, than Winston did. But yeah, they're throwing all the time.
He's hitting that Marcus Mariota second-year slump, as far as I'm concerned.
You got to look at half of these teams are if they're down by 15 or 20 points, the guys are going to throw 15 or 20 more times than than a guy like Flacco.
Jameis is throwing just as much this year as he was last year.
Yeah, probably because they were down a lot last year. He threw a ton of interceptions last year.
They were up a lot last year.
They went 8-8. But it does he throws a ton of interceptions. He threw a ton of interceptions in college. That's Jameis. Jameis is just Brett Favre's a gunslinger or whatever. Jameis is a gunslinger in the sense of that guy just chucks the ball up. That's always been kind of his knock sometimes. But I mean, with that team, I don't expect him to be a world beater here number wise.
I don't know. You were saying that they were going to be really good this year.
I thought they were going to be a lot better. Yeah, the way they were playing, there's no way that he's going to
hit the slump.
I don't think he's hit a slump. I think he looks about what he did last year. I think he's still making good football smarts.
No.
And we're 4 weeks in, man. I mean, he only
Well, I'm
had,
saying
he only
4
had
weeks
21
in.
touchdowns last year. He has 8. He's going to beat that.
Well, I'm saying
at
last
this rate, he's going to beat his touchdown rate. Yes.
I think last year around this time, I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure last year around this time we were saying he's playing. What you were saying, I was the one questioning it, saying let's wait and see.
I still think he's playing well. I just don't think he's playing exceptionally phenomenal. I thought he was going to take a step forward. I just don't think he's moved forward or backwards. I think he's in the same place he was last year, which isn't good.
Back. I'll look it up. That's fine. We'll look it up for next week.
But
so which board are you taking? Because you got
if Cam's in, I'm taking Cam. I think that Carolina can still. They need to, and on the outside, it's crazy because last year what Cam was relying on was his wide receivers stepping up because obviously we thought they weren't that good, and then it ends up their wide receivers are catching everything and outrunning defenders and that. The next thing, they're not even getting that. Now that obviously comes from a trickle-down effect of everybody else playing well, so if everyone else is getting shut down, obviously they're going to shut down, but I'm going to take Carolina because I just think that on the outside they're just a little better, but I mean, it can be a toss-up the way both teams have played this year, yes.
I think we have one different game this week because I'm going Carolina. I feel like they need this win. I feel like against this division, at home on a primetime spot, you need to get this W. Carolina, they look, like I said, they look horrible on all sides of the ball. They look absolutely horrible and miserable. But I still think on paper they are much better than Tampa Bay, and I think they need to show that. I think they're going to prove that in a primetime spot. If not, they're the third team that I'm done with.
Both teams need to clean
Or
up.
third or fourth. I'm
teams
losing
have-
track at this point.
Both teams have played sloppy. Both teams need to clean a lot up, and this is a big game because it's like you said, it's Monday night, it's a divisional game.
They need
Coaching, I mean, I think coaching probably has something to go in with both of them too. I never was high on Rivera last year, but
he's a good coach. He had a good year.
yeah, he had a good year. Exactly. It's kind of there's such a surrounding for both quarterbacks right now. But if both of them kind of break it down, go back to fundamentals, they are good enough to carry for a win or two. Maybe Winston can do that this week.
We'll see.
All right. Well, that was everything for JD Sports. Thanks for watching. I'm Jared Hood. That's Dwight Garfield. Tweet us. Find us on Facebook. Share the page. Send it out to all your friends. Zach Casper's probably no longer with us.
He's not though?
I mean, I don't know. His
I don't
work
know,
schedule.
you know.
He's a working man, so his work schedule just doesn't add up to it. But it was a good show when he was here. Maybe we'll be able to work some more in there. Maybe we'll.
I mean, if he's watching this, I feel like that's a call out. So, I mean, are you going to show up, bro?
We'll make it work.
I guess we're going to find out.
JD Sports will be back next week. A lot to get into. More baseball. Basketball's around the corner, which I'm sure we're both excited about. And then obviously we got football. So a lot going. This is the time of year that we start ramping up, and JD Sports kind of gets into everything.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching. Good night, Australia.
Woo!